Hello folks, you've got John Russo here with Progressive Scale, and we're going to show you our provision processing system Tray Pack functionality. Now, what is that? Tray Pack functionality is the ability to put pieces within a case. So what we're going to do is we're going to label individual pieces and put them inside a case. And the labels on the inside doesn't have to be, but can be different than the case label. So we put a label on the inside. It may be like a deli label. It's going to have the price per pound. You could do something like that. You can put a UPC. You don't have to put a barcode. You don't have to put price per pound. You can just individually label. You can put on the piece label, you can put a nice pretty label like pre-printed with color and graphics and all that. Also have the safe handling instructions on the inside. So that would be on the piece. Now what we do is we individually label every piece, and we have a serial number for every one of those pieces. We don't necessarily have to print that serial number. We can, and we do suggest it, but that serial number belongs to a case, and that case has a serial number. So when we talk about traceability, we can trace down to the individual piece that you have labeled. Okay. When you're doing that, as far as hardware goes, you have a scale, and you can have one or two printers. You have your piece label printer and your case label printer. They may be different label printers because if your label that's going on the pieces is a nice pretty label and it's small and it's a little 2x2 or something, and then you want to put your case label but you want a big 4x6 on the case, well, you're not going to be swapping labels constantly, so you do one printer for your pieces and one printer for your case. All right, you don't have to do that. You can do everything with one printer as well. Now, the hardware that we use, if you look up at the top, and I'm going to highlight it for you here, in orange, I think. Yes. That's the Rice Lake 1280. It's a scale indicator. It's legal for trade. It's got I think it's a 7-inch display, diagonally right here. It's touchscreen. It's an IP69 rated, and typically what you'd have is a cable coming out the bottom connecting to a scale platform, and that scale platform would be 18 by 18, 100 pounds typically. We can do it different capacities, different sizes, but our common size is 18 by 18. We can also have a rugged tablet there, Windows tablet. The tablets are not wash down. This is, if you want a wash down PC, we also make those as well, and those are in a much bigger enclosure, about a 17-inch monitor with a PC inside of it. So if you need completely washed down, we can do that. The nice thing about if you do the tablet, then you could put it wirelessly on a cart and wheel it out at night. You can do the same thing with these. They're wireless as well. So let's get into it. Let's label and all that stuff. Okay. Now, the first thing that has to be running if you're using the Rice Lake 1280 is we have a software called the Scale Server that runs in the background. It runs on a PC in the office. We call it server, but it doesn't have to be running on a server. It can be running on a PC, but it has to be running. So this runs in the background to talk to the Rice Lake 1280. The print server also needs to be running. If you do the tablet, you don't need these softwares running in the background. But if we do use the Rice Lake, we have this intermediate software that runs in between. The software on the bottom is our desktop software that runs on any one of the PCs in the office. This is where you edit your products, edit your lots, run your reports, do all those things, your day-to-day things. Okay. I'm not going to get into the editing the products and all that stuff, but I will show you. We're going to create a lot, and then that lot is going to be available on the scale for us to use. So if we want to create a production lot, okay, we've taken our meat that came in, whether it's box meat or it's a carcass hanging. We're going to take that carcass, we're going to scan it into our production room, and now we're going to break it down, and we're going to have finished goods coming out of this scale. So we hit lot control. Now, if you see, we have some lots already available. If they're in white, they are available right now. The reason, what I mean by available, is you have these available dates, right? So today's 5/2/2023, so it's available today. It's told to hide, the scale will hide this lot at 5/3/2023. Okay, so tonight at midnight, you won't be able to process this lot anymore. Okay, or after that. It'll still be available if you need to reopen it or do anything with it, but the system automatically makes it unavailable. If you need to create your own lot, you just go in here, hit suggest a lot down at the bottom. I hit suggest a lot, and it creates me a lot right here, 23/1/22/05. That is today's year, Julian day, and the 5th lot of the day, because I've been fooling around with this system before I showed it to you. Now the lot description, we're going to put in, I don't know, test 1, 2, 3. It's available today, hide tonight. If you were doing like this for tomorrow, we could put it in so it's not available till tomorrow. So we could put 5/3 and hide date 5/4. So if you were doing this the day before, you're not going to be there in the morning, you can create your lots for the morning already. The lot extra fields are lots that would show, or fields that would show on the label only for when you're processing this lot. They're for labeling. The species and the grade, you can choose those for this lot. The select cut sheet, I have a whole video on that. I won't get into cut sheets too much, but essentially you can say what cut sheet this lot belongs to. You have a previously created cut sheet. Watch the video on cut sheets and it'll make sense. Change label. So every product in the system has a label associated to it, a label design. Actually multiple label designs. We have our case label, right, because we talked about our case label, but then we have a tray pack label, which could be a different design than the case. But those are all by default, or they're all defaulted to a product. So your beef ribeye has a particular label associated to it. And if you don't tell the system differently, it's going to print that label. But over here, we can override that. So this is good for custom labeling. So if you're processing, you're doing a custom slaughter, or you're doing some sort of custom processing for somebody, you can put their logo on the label, whatever label you've designed for them. So I'll show you how that's done. If we change label, we have our case label. So this is the case label design we want to override the standard with. Our tray pack label, we want to override with this label. And our mixed product tray pack case label, we want to override with this. Now, that's a little confusing, that last one, but what that means is when we do a tray pack, when we pack a case, if they're all the same product, fine. Print the product label, put the product name on the outside. If we do a mixed product, then you're going to print whatever this product is. Okay? So we're going to print that label on the outside, if that makes sense. Okay? I hope it does. If not, we can always go over this on a demo. So this is how you'd override. So if I hit save right now, because I've opened this up and I said I wanted to override it, if I hit add lot, it's going to prompt me and says, you sure you want to do this? You want to override the labels for this lot? If I say okay, it creates a lot, and it created with that number 2312205 test 123. And if you look over here to the right, where is it? Where's our labels? Sorry. Oh yeah. So our mixed format is 0. I didn't change them. So this is the tray pack format. If it's 0, it's using the default. But we overrode it with whatever case format and tray pack format I selected here. Okay? So it's going to override it with the other format that I selected. Okay, so on we go. So now we're going to actually use the scale. I'm going to close out of here. This is your standard scale screen. I am remoted into the scale right now, and it's, like I said, it's sitting right here next to me. I can push on the scale. Here we go, and it moves. Okay, I'm remoted into it over the network. It's a nice handy feature if you need support as well. But I'm remoted into it so I can show it to you. I'm not going to press the buttons. I'll click them with my mouse. So first thing we have to do, we have to say what lot we're processing our production to. So I hit select lot, and I'm going to use 01000 lot 1 test. And I'm going to say what product I'm going to process. I'm going to do 11101. I remembered that number from all our testing. But 11101 is also in the second product. It's in this chuck shoulder, but I want to use the 11101 for sure, the chuck roll bone in. I'm going to click it. So now you can see it says chuck roll bone in up here. I've selected the right product. See in the blue up top. See right there. That's what we're doing. And then we've got over here all the information about that product, our minimum, our maximum, and these are the min and max cases. But we don't want to label a case, we're going to label tray pack. So what we have to do is we have to go into the tray pack. Now all these buttons, just so you know, these buttons on this screen can be hidden. I have them here for demonstration purposes, but based on the login we can turn these off. Okay? And we didn't force a login. We can force a login on the system so that when you first turn on the scale, you have to log in first. But I have that turned off for our demonstration here. So if I hit Tray Pack, it takes me in, and I'm going to hit Print Pack. So I put my first piece on the label. Nice and simple to use. Print Pack. I got my chuck roll bone in. Okay. Now it reopened the case I was using before. That's why it says 6. It kept track of what I was doing before in case you close and you leave the system, come back. It kept track of what I was doing. So I hit Print Pack, Print Pack. It's actually my 7th label. When I'm done, I hit Print Case. Okay. The pack labels printed like the price and all that stuff, and I'm going to show you. So this is what a pack label could look like. This is a very simple design, but we threw, there's a logo on there, there's a barcode, maybe you want price, maybe there's a pre-printed label where we already have the bars printed on it, the boxes, or we could print the boxes. We could print a heck of a lot more information than this. It's very simple. But when I hit Print Case, so that was each time I hit Print Pack, I got one of those labels. Then when I hit Print Case, I got a case manifest, and that's this label here. Make sure it's in focus for you. So the case manifest label has every product that's on the case. Okay, in the case, it's got each individual weight, and it's got the totals and everything. Okay, then it printed the case, the actual case barcode for the outside. So if you're shipping to like a big box store or something like that, and they want a GS1 barcode, there you go, you have it. So this is called a GS1 barcode. That's a case label. Okay. Then it printed another label, which is my next case ID. And the reason it prints this case ID is so you know which one you're working on. In case you walk away from the system, you can come back to where you were. Okay, so you know if you start printing pieces and you walk away and somebody shuts your scale off or something like that, you can always resume. Okay. So the next thing would be, okay, I'm on my next case. If I'm still doing my chuck roll bone-ins, I can hit Print Pack, Print Pack. I'm putting my pieces in, and we can even make this print unstable if you want to, where you don't even have to hit the button. But I Print Pack, and then I'm going to Print Case. Same thing happened again. I'm getting my case manifest and my pre-pack label for the next one, and my case label. Okay. If I don't want to print those, if I don't want to print the pack label, or I don't want to print the case manifest, or I don't want to print the pre-case label, I can turn them off, and I won't get any labels. So let's say I just want to keep track of what's in the box, and then I want to print a case label. Well, I can just turn off the pack label, and I can leave these on. Okay, however you want it to work, you can turn those on or off. Okay, but let's say now I want to switch lots. Okay, I want to go to another lot. If I hit this red X, I select lot. I go to lot 2. Come back to Tray Pack, and if I'm still doing chuck roll bone-in, I go to Print Pack. If I'm not doing chuck roll bone-in, I can switch products. Okay. I could have switched it before this, but let's say now we're going to do a mixed box. We were talking about that whole mixed case scenario. If I hit change product, 11102, let's say, that's a chuck roll boneless. So now we switch to boneless, from bone in to boneless. Okay, I hit Print Pack, I've got more than one item in that case. You know what I mean? We've got a mixed case. So I print cast, print pack, and I could do this as many times as I want. I could have many different products as I want in a case. When I'm done, I hit print case, and I get my label. Let me get it for you. I tore it off quick, but so now you see the case manifest has multiple products in there. You got 11101, the chuck roll bone in, and the chuck roll boneless on the same case. And what the system's going to do now is it's going to switch, and it's going to put mixed beef on the outside of the box. It won't put bone in or boneless. Okay. So let me show you some more. Give you a little more tour of some of the buttons that are on here. You do have what lot you're working on, lot 0200, the product ID, the min and the max. This is the tray pack min and max, 0 to 100 pounds. The V means this is a variable weight item. You can do fixed weight items too, so we could have, if we wanted to always have the same weight on there, if it landed between the min and the max, it would print that weight. And that's all set up by the product. Okay. You saw what the little graph there did, or the little, like Excel boxes here showed you what you were making. The yellow buttons are to reopen a case. If I want to go back to a case and reopen it, I can. Okay. My camera looked blurry. Sorry if it's blurry. It looks a little blurry to me. So the yellow buttons are to reopen a case. Okay. The print quantity is very handy for printing. Let's say you're doing ground, right? And you didn't run them all past the scale. You did them on a portion scale or something previously. Well, print quantity, I've got, I don't know how many you have, but I've got 5 at 1 pound. And the scale fires them off. Okay. We just started printing over there, printed all our pieces, and it put 5 in the case. Case note would be if I wanted to, I can say this is, I don't know, frozen. This should go frozen. Okay, my case note's in there, so that's tied to the case. If I want to reopen the case, I can reopen a case. If I want to restart the case, that means cancel the case I'm on. So if I'm on this case right now and I've totally screwed it up, hit restart case and I'll forget it all, and you can start over. Okay. The void button, that is, and by the way, you can see when I hit case note under the void button, you can see the frozen. That's where the note ended up. So when you hit the void button, that allows you to go back and delete a transaction if you've made a mistake of some sort. So you can back stuff out. So in case you printed a label by accident in that case, you don't have to start the whole case all over. You can go in and remove a transaction. Okay. I think it fairly well covers it. And if you have any questions, there's a forum. If you go to provisionprocessingsystem.com, there's a forum there of all different things to do in the software. If you go to provisionprocessingsystem.com/videos, there is, or if you just go on the website and there's on the top there's a videos tab. Click that and there's other videos. There's training videos, there's demo videos, there's a bunch of information on there, and we're going to constantly be adding to it. And just any other questions or comments or things you want to see in this software, don't hesitate to contact us. We built this software on customers' needs and feedback, and we always want to improve it and make it a better product for everybody to use. Okay, thank you very much. I'm John Russo, and enjoy your day.